Welcome to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and connected to the miraculous energy of unconditional love that I call Mother Mary. If you're a highly sensitive, highly creative entrepreneur or light worker, and you want to magnify your impact and your intuition, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Reverend Frances Faden, interfaith minister, intuitive coach, and author of Meditation is Friendship with God. I can't wait to share miraculous stories, books, meditations, messages, and interviews with other miraculous light workers just like you. Are you ready to magnify your miracles? What are we waiting for? Let's get started. Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. This is Reverend Frances Faden, and I am so grateful that we get to spend this time together helping you to magnify your miracles. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that I hope that you find really inspiring and really fun to think about. But before we do that, let's take a few deep breaths together. Get ourselves grounded and centered. Breathing in the energy of expansion, breathing out anything you no longer need. And as you start to tune into this beautiful divine presence within you, outside of you, supporting you everywhere, knowing that you are not only connected to it, but you are it. That you're going to hear whatever you need to hear today to help you step powerfully forward on your own path to help you magnify your miracles. So knowing that, let's take one more deep breath together in gratitude, and we can begin. All right, my friend. Well, welcome once again to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. And I want to share with you something that I just was so fascinated to discover about Aretha Franklin. And you might be like, what? You're talking about Aretha Franklin? Like, what's going on? So I want to tell you what Aretha Franklin taught me about the path of success and how it's going to help me and my own personal success journey. It's going to help me help my clients, the people that I mentor. And I'm hoping, really, my intention is that this helps you. Even if I never get to work with you one-on-one, even if you're never in any of my message circles or any of the offerings that I have, if this is the podcast that you hear and this is the only time we connect, my intention is that you get what you need and you're able to go out into the world in a more powerful way. So I finally got to watch the movie on Aretha Franklin's life. Now, I love Aretha Franklin, but I can't say that I knew much about her. Obviously, Queen of Soul, amazing. I love her voice. I love her energy. I love everything about her. I think she's one of the most powerful women that's ever been on the planet, one of the most gifted, and also one of the most humble, and such an amazing, amazing example of channeling God's gift, channeling light through her voice. She's just amazing. But I didn't really know her story, so I was really anxious to see the movie that they made called Respect. And Jennifer Hudson plays Aretha Franklin, and she did an amazing job. So if you haven't seen it, highly recommend that you watch it. Now, there's a lot of things that I didn't know. I didn't know that she had a lot of abuse in her childhood, a lot of sexual abuse, which I didn't know. I didn't know that she grew up kind of in this strict religious family. I did know that she was very devoted to God and gospel music was in her blood, and that's what she was raised singing. I did know that. But here's the thing, my friend, why I want to talk to you about Aretha Franklin and what she is still teaching all of us, even though she left her body, what she's still teaching all of us about the path of success, and especially for women, empowerment, and why this is so important, and why I was like, oh my God, I got to share this with you today. Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul, right? Did you know that she put out 9 albums, 9, before she ever had a hit? 9 albums. She was signed when she was pretty young to a record label. And she really, really wanted to have a hit. And they kept putting out these kind of jazz albums, and they're beautiful. But it didn't light her up. And so she didn't have a hit. Now, the reason that this strikes me so much is because she was always Aretha Franklin. Inside of her, she was always the Queen of Soul. It wasn't for lack of talent. She even had a recording contract. Her music was getting out there. What was the missing ingredient? Well, that's what I want to share with you today, is what the missing ingredient was and what happened afterwards. Because a lot of times, for all of us highly sensitive souls, especially if you're a creative entrepreneur, a spiritual entrepreneur, we doubt ourselves, right? We think, oh, I must not be a good enough writer or singer or painter or healer or whatever it might be. And we go down the road of more training, more training, more training. And I've seen this in so many people. They think, oh, if I just get that certification, if I just get this thing, then I'll have the confidence, then I'll be able to, then I'll know enough. And on the inside, they're always battling that not enough, not enough. Well, here's what happened in this movie. At least this is the movie depiction. I don't know if it's exactly what happened in her life. But Aretha Franklin was trying to make her dad happy. Her dad wanted her to be this respectable, what they called at the time, a Negro woman. Today we would say African American, but he was very vested in her doing what he called respectable music. He wanted her to be perceived in a certain way because of how it reflected on him. And he wanted to kind of manage her energy so that he could really kind of live vicariously through her. And she loved her dad. So, of course, she wanted to make him happy. And she was a young woman at the time, like 19, 20 years old. And then she wanted to make the record company happy, right? The record company signed her and said, oh, we're going to market you to the jazz community and you're going to put out this jazz music. And so she did. And she recorded an album and it would do, not great, no hits. She put out another album, maybe got into the top 100. Okay. Now she still got an amazing voice and she's still Aretha Franklin. What happened? What's missing? So the way they depict it in the movie, I don't know if this is actually what happens, but one of her icon mentors that is a family friend, Dinah Washington, who is a big star in her own right, comes to her one time when she's singing and says to her, you got to sing what makes you happy. You got to start doing what works for you. And she said, what do you want? She's like, I want to have hits. She's like, then you have to start putting yourself in your music. You got to put yourself into it. You got to put your heart into it. And by this time, she's married. She's married to her manager. Now she's trying to make him happy, right? You see the theme here. There comes a point where she decides, I'm having a hit. She decides, I'm playing with the band that I want to play with, even if my husband doesn't like it. She decides, I'm going to sing this kind of music, even if my dad doesn't like it. I am going to take charge of my life and I'm going to make myself happy and I'm going to use the gifts that God has given me and I'm going to go for it. Now, imagine having put out 9 albums and not just giving up, or writing 9 novels and not saying, maybe I'm not good at this, or painting 9 murals that nobody is paying any attention to, and then saying, well, I don't know, should I keep doing this? And you could see she was getting close to there. And finally, she was like, nope, she made a decision. She made a decision, my friends. Now, what would your life be if you made a decision that you were going to be what you always wanted to be, that you were going to do what you always wanted to do? Doesn't mean that you might not have feelings about it. Doesn't mean that you might not be nervous, but you are deciding. The power of decision is one of the gifts that God has given us. God gave us the power of free will, but we don't understand that the gift of free will comes with an incredible power, and that's the power of choice and the power of decision. Once you decide, and you truly decide, you're not kind of waffly about it, the universe starts rearranging itself and moving in your direction. So the way they depict this in the movie is here's Aretha, and she's playing with this band, and she's down in Georgia, and at the time it's like in the 60s, and these are a bunch of white guys, and her husband's not so sure. Is this the right band for her? Because she's a gospel singer and she's all these great things, and she's playing with them, and she is getting that they get her. They're like, oh, we get her. We get what's going on here. And she decides, I'm playing with them. I like them. They got my sound. She decides to bring in her sisters as the background, and she starts making her own arrangement. Now, I don't know that this is exactly how it happened, but this is the way it's depicted in the movie. The song that is the perfect song for making a decision. Making a decision is the power of your third chakra. Your third chakra, my friends, is your solar plexus. And for most people, especially for women, this is the one we struggle with the most, because we've been told, don't be too loud. Don't have any attention on you. If you have any attention on you, that's not good. You don't want to be vain. You don't want to be bossy, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, men have this energy where they have an overactive solar plexus, and that gets them into a whole host of other problems. But for women, a lot of times what I see when I'm working with people in their energy field is that it's not that their third chakra is weak. Every now and then I see that. Most of the time, there's a huge boulder in front of that chakra trying to hold that light in, because they're really dynamic women. They're really dynamic people. But they've been told somewhere along the line that it's not okay. It's not okay to be a dynamic woman. It's not okay to own your power. It's not okay to shine as brightly as you can shine. You got to make other people comfortable. You got to make everybody else happy. And this is what Aretha Franklin was doing until she said, enough, enough. And it's no coincidence that she went on to record her own version of an Otis Redding song. Now, I didn't know it was a remake. Did you know that? That the song Respect was a remake. It was already a hit. Otis Redding didn't know it. And then she came in and she made that song her own. And she made the arrangement and made it one of the most amazing songs in the history of popular music. And it is the theme song. It is the anthem of a happy, healthy, strong third chakra. Respect. When you respect yourself and when you demand that respect from other people, your third chakra, it opens and it's beautiful. And here's the thing. A lot of times people are afraid, like, if I have a strong third chakra, am I going to become domineering? Am I going to become, overbearing? Well, that's the other side of the third chakra. That's when it's still out of balance when it's that way. A healthy third chakra is powerful and humble. It's grounded. It knows that it's a channel, but it's very aware of what it's channeling. And this is what Aretha Franklin taught me about success, is you have to decide. Everybody has to decide. Nobody is born the queen of soul. Nobody is born the king of rock and roll. Nobody is born as Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi. People decide. They get to a point. And if you watch any of the movies about these people, if you watch stories about Gandhi, if you watch that beautiful, brilliant movie that was made forever ago, Gandhi, he went from being a lawyer to being this political activist that was totally doing it from a spiritual perspective. That's when he decided, I'm pursuing the path of nonviolence. Before then, he was being himself. He was being a lawyer. He was just doing his thing. Nothing wrong with it. But then he decided. Mother Teresa got to the point. She was happy being a nun, doing her own thing. And then one day she heard a calling inside of her, and she decided to say yes to the calling. It didn't happen automatically. She decided. Aretha Franklin, my friend, Aretha Franklin, 9 albums later until she finally decided, I'm going to let this light in me come out. I'm not going to worry about my dad or my husband or the record label or anybody. I am going to find the record label that's right for me, that's going to let me be who I am. And what do you know? She created the anthem for all of us, for our solar plexus. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. RESPECT. That is the song for your third chakra. So if you ever wake up, my friend, in the day and you're feeling a little wobbly in your third chakra, you're like, your confidence is a little bit shaky. You're not 100% sure. You're not feeling your inner power. You're still a little worried about what other people think. I want you to go to however you listen to music, whether you listen on an iPod or you have it streaming, like whatever you do, you can go to YouTube, however you do music. It's so different than how it used to be. You listen to this song by Aretha Franklin and you let yourself sing it like it's your third chakra, and that you're saying this to your dream. What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking for is a little respect. That's all I'm asking for. That's all you need, is to respect your time and to respect your money and to respect your resources and to respect your gifts and respect your connection to the divine and respect your purpose, what you're here to do. Other people might have feelings about it. They're allowed to have feelings about it, but don't you stop respecting your gift and what you're here to channel. You, my friend, are here to channel incredible light on the planet. How do I know it? I know it because you're listening to this podcast. People don't listen to this podcast if they're just kind of like, whatever. This podcast is for people who are here with a big vision to do big things on the planet. You wouldn't be thinking about magnifying your miracles if you didn't know you had miracles to magnify. You do. You're here to be a huge channel of light. And whether that's in something similar to what I'm doing, or maybe you're a chef, or maybe you're a lawyer, or maybe you're a real estate agent. Who knows what you are? It doesn't matter. It's not about the outer trapping. It's about the inner light and letting yourself be the biggest, best, highest version of you. It's not changing who you are. It's allowing that light within you to come out fully. And I will share with you, my friends, when I watched this movie, I was so inspired. I didn't expect to be as inspired as I was. And I was like, wow, Aretha Franklin. I've always loved her, but now she's a hero. Now I'm putting her on my team. Now I'm going to call on her in the spirit world whenever I'm feeling a little bit wobbly and say, Aretha, send me some of that mojo. Send me some of that juice. Send me some of that confidence. And I can hear her already saying, girl, you got to respect yourself, respect your time, and respect your energy. Now, maybe in the future, maybe I'll do an episode on the theme song, the anthem for each one of the chakras. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm going to have to think about that. But until I do, remember that your third chakra is all about self-respect. It's your relationship to yourself. It's your personal power, and it's your ability to shine in the world. You want to activate that energy in your life? It's simple. Start making decisions on your own behalf and stick to them. If you're a person that has difficulty making decisions, start there. Start with little tiny decisions, even the things that you do on a daily basis that you think, every day I get up, I have a cup of coffee, I have a cup of tea, whatever it might be. Consciously tell yourself, I'm deciding to have tea this morning. I'm deciding to have coffee this morning. So you get yourself out of that habit of thinking that life is happening to you, and you see just how powerful you are, that you have made all of these decisions. And once you realize that you've made all of these decisions, you'll start to see that you can make more. And maybe you'll make even bigger decisions or better decisions or ones that are more in alignment. So whatever Aretha Franklin represents to you, you already have that inside of you. Like I said, she was already the queen of soul inside of her. She didn't need to go get voice lessons. She didn't need to go figure it out and go meditate on an ashram somewhere. She was already this. but she just hadn't gotten in alignment. She just hadn't decided to live her life on her terms and to do it her way. And then once she does, boom. Now there's more to the movie. It doesn't end at that point. There's more stuff that she has to go through. And by the end of the movie, she gets into even more alignment. And I'll let you watch it. But if you can watch it, I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you've already seen it, let me know. What did you think about it? The most important thing I would love for you to share with me is, what's the decision that you're going to make right now today? What have you been either putting off, or telling yourself you're not ready, or thinking that you're not good enough, or worried about what your husband's going to say, worried about what your wife's going to say, worried about what people are going to, like, whatever it might be, wherever the people pleasing thing is, your dream. You know, people often say, everything you want is on the other side of fear. And I hate that statement. It's one of my least favorite motivational things. But I can say from my own experience, everything that I desire is right on the other side of people pleasing. As soon as I stop people pleasing, as soon as I stop caring about, are they going to like me? Are they not going to like me? Are they going to be okay? Which in a sense, obviously I understand that that's fear. But for me, it shows up really differently. It's not the fear of jumping out of an airplane. You know, for a lot of us, it's a fear of loss of love. We're afraid that, if I'm true to myself, other people aren't going to like me. And that's a big lie. It is a big lie. Other people might be uncomfortable, but you know what? They're allowed to be uncomfortable. Because you know how uncomfortable it is to live your life with a boulder in front of your third chakra? Not on my watch, my friend. This is one of the key things I work with people. I work a lot with third and fourth chakra people who are here with a big light and love to share. But their third chakra is stopped up by that fear of letting themselves shine. They just haven't decided. They just haven't given themselves permission. So I want to hear from you, my friend. What's the decision that you're going to make? Big or small, doesn't matter to me. Leave a comment. I read all the comments and I respond to all of them. And I promise myself that I'm going to listen to that song, Respect, every day for the next month to remind myself to respect myself and to remind myself that my dreams and my goals are just on the other side of that self-respect that looks like boundaries. It looks like self-care. It looks like being willing to let go of procrastination. It looks like letting go of having to do everything myself. It looks like being willing to ask for help, right? Being willing to receive it. All those things. And I'm going to remind myself, when I think about my dream, I'm going to say to my dream, what you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I have it. All I'm asking for is a little respect. Little respect. RESPECT, my friend. That's what we're talking about. Third chakra anthem. So fun to spend this time with you. Thank you for tuning in. I love sharing songs and sharing stories with you. And I love hearing your stories. And if you have songs that you love, share them with me. I love to hear all that. And we always want to remember, my friend, just like Aretha Franklin, the key to magnifying your miracles is to know that your miracle, it's already here. Just need to take the next step and decide. Decide that you are going to have your miracle. Decide that you're worthy of your miracle. Decide to respect your miracle, to give it what it needs so it can blossom in your life. God bless you, my friend. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I'm so grateful to be able to spend this time with you. If you want even more inspiration, feel free to visit my website, francisfaden.com or magnifyyourmiracles.com. And if you did enjoy this episode, I would really appreciate it if you left a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever it is that you connect with awesome podcasts. Remember, the key to magnifying your miracles is remembering that your miracle is already here.